All right, Cyberpunk 2077 was released back in December of 2020 by CD Projekt Red for all the systems of PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, and for the PC. Okay, so right off the bat, I think most people know the controversy surrounding this game. It's pretty infamous at this point. It came out a complete buggy mess. It got held back, delayed like 3 or 4 times. They decided to release it anyway, and I'm pretty sure it was mostly due to like shareholders pushing for it to release. Because I think back in December of 2020, there weren't any other like video games coming out or like big budget type of games coming out, and so I think someone at the board definitely said, "Nope, take it out. Whatever you got to do, get it out. Just fix it in the patch or something." And they regretted it. So they definitely regretted that decision. And in a way, I think it's prophetic because you're talking about a game bending to corporate pressures, but it's a game that's all about taking it to like the corporate world and fighting against like the corporate overlords that ruin and control the lives of everyday people. So yeah, it's actually kind of a snake eating its own tail. Okay, but before I get into like that whole thing with the game, a little background on this though, because I think most people just know of the video game. This is based off of the tabletop RPG game called Cyberpunk 2020 that came out way back in 1988, actually. And I remember seeing this game a lot, like when I would go to like comic book shops or just like hobby shops. That I totally remember seeing this game just like on the shelves and thinking it's interesting, but I never picked it up. But now after playing the video game, I most definitely am picking up Cyberpunk Red, which is like the updated version that they did just ahead of the video game being released. And so Mike Pondsmith is the guy who actually created the tabletop game, and I've watched a couple of interviews with him, and he's talking about how influential a lot of earlier stuff is, like Blade Runner and Neuromancer, it's stuff like that that was very kind of influential to him, and he loved it. He was into the genre, and he loved it, and it led to him creating the tabletop game. So during the process of CD Projekt Red, developing the game, he was very involved with the in the development process, as the main source of like what's the world should be like, who the characters are and stuff like that, because he created it. And I think someone at CD Projekt Red kind of laid out the diagram of what they were trying to do in the game and what the game would be about. And he said in the interview, it's like, there's no way you're doing that. There's no way you can get that done. And he was kind of right. I mean, yeah, smart dude. So yeah, I mean, he was kind of right about that too. All right, so and this game has been in development since 2012. Actually, if you could believe that, it's been in development for over 8 years, and they are still like releasing patches and stuff. A patch just came out last week. I want to say September like 16th or 15th or something around that time. Like they're still working on it, and they're still working on it. They also announced like the first DLC that they're going to release for the game, and more patches after that. So they are still working on this game. Like it's 2022 going on 2023. So this is like almost 11 years of developing this game. And that's really boggling to me, because there are games that have come out years ago that are doing what this game is trying what attempted to do, and they're doing it so much better. So for me, the way I see it when I'm playing it, it's the game is basically Deus Ex meets GTA, and that's so Deus Ex with Adam Jensen as in the pick here. It's another one of my favorite things, in the genre. I love that video game. I love that video game series. It's super cyberpunk as well. As you can see, like Adam Jensen, he's got the chromed arms. He's got the chromed eyepieces. The implants all in his chest, and he of course can jack it. I think he does it remotely though. Like he don't have in the game they have like an actual USB cord like in their forearm, and they like take it out and plug it into like a router or something like that to jack in. Yeah, so there are elements in the game in Deus Ex that are handled much better to me. And I think the last Deus Ex game came out in 2015 or 16 or something like that. And Grand Theft Auto, so the game has this complete like open world setting to it. And yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out since 2013, I want to say. It's actually kind of embarrassing the things that that uh Cyberpunk 2077 kind of can't get right that Grand Theft Auto just does effortlessly, like completely just effortlessly. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people already know like the whole thing with this game. It came out way before it should have. It was pushed out ahead of schedule, even though it's been delayed like 3 or 4 times. It still wasn't ready. And the studio should have just came out and said, "Hey, we are way behind schedule. The COVID affected the entire world. We apologize, but we still need to work on the game." It would have sucked. I'm not gonna lie, it would have sucked, but I would have understood. Like every COVID hit everybody hard, and so like everything was just chaotic and just effed up, basically. But I don't know. I'm telling you, some suit on the board said, "Nope, nope, we got to get it out. We got to get it out now." And as a result, so for the last gen consoles, which at this point is the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, it was just unplayable. It was completely unplayable. And you can just look it up on YouTube. There's so many bugs and glitches in the game that's just like, why? Why did nobody not play this? Were there no testers for this thing? But so now I have it. I have a PC. I have kind of like a gaming rig. It's not the best in the world, but it's pretty powerful. It's pretty decent. So I've kind of always had like the best version of the game, and I think that's kind of what helped to make the impression on me that it did. But it is by far no, it is still a buggy hellhole, even on the PC. And even still, even though now after the Edgerunner update they just released last week, it's a lot better. And look at my chair. You see my chair? You see my chair, Lauren? I'm gonna hack this damn chair. That's for sure. And I don't mean cyberpunk. I mean hack this damn thing up with an axe. Yeah, even still with like having the best quote unquote version of the game, it was very rough. It was still very rough. Glitches galore. Cars would just spawn right over top of you. Like citizens would spawn out of nowhere. Like if you're walking on the street, and there's this thing of like you would see like 7 or 8 of the same character like walking down the street with like the same character model, same clothes, same animation and everything. It was bad. It was pretty bad. Okay, but with all that said, with Cyberpunk, what did I like about it? First off, the main thing I absolutely love about the game is Night City itself. Yeah, there's something about riding around Night City in your what's it called, the Quadra 66, with like they got the Run the Jewels music playing on the radio station. And yeah, just seeing like all the neon lights and people walking around that's like completely like chromed out, and you got ads blaring out and everything. Because I think cyberpunk as a genre is all about the aesthetic, and they absolutely nail the aesthetic in this. That is by far my favorite aspect of it. Just being in Night City. Yeah, it's all in the aesthetics of Night City itself. You know, just seeing all the neon ads, you know, just scrawled all over the place, and hearing the ads just blaring out at you over the crowd noise and the traffic noise and things like that, and just like ads that's like beaming all the way up into like outer space, you know, and there's like, you know, hovercrafts hovering above your head and things like that. You know, that is most definitely like what they nailed in this is just being in Night City and being in that like kind of like fully realized like cyberpunk kind of world is definitely like worth the price of admission for me as a fan of the genre for like decades. You know, it's like I instead of just reading it, you know, or just watching a movie on it, I actually get to kind of like live it a little bit. Yeah, so another thing I like about it is the gameplay, like the shooting mechanics in this, especially it's super smooth. Like the guns are so like imaginative kind of, and they definitely respond in kind of like the right way they should. You know, I kind of feel like the handguns are like really kind of sleek and like agile and really kind of cool, and you know they have like different kind of like gun types in here. They got like tech uh guns here where you can, it doesn't matter where you aim, the like the bullets will auto like kind of like direct the cells at the target, which is super cool. I love that. And they have like a power type of like guns where like it packs an extra punch if you like hold down the trigger button. It packs like a bit of extra punch. It can like go through certain walls. It can, and like the bullets can like ricochet off of something and like hit somebody that's like ducking behind the corner and stuff like that. And the shotguns feel like like adequately heavy, and like, you know, when you shoot it, it has like a nice punch to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, they kind of actually nailed the gunplay in this as well. You know, using your cyberware in this against enemies. They got my favorite one, I think, is you can like command somebody to like commit suicide in there while like kind of hacking their cyberware, and so like they just, and you can see them kind of like fighting against their arm, like, oh god, no, you know. To me, that's always kind of fun in a devilish kind of way. They also have this thing where like a contagion, where you can like make people get sick, and as you build up your cyberware, you can have it to where it like outly like infects like the other enemies that surround them, and so it's kind of funny. You just hear like a whole chain of people just barfing their guts out. You know, and it's a good tactic for like offense and defense. So you can, if you're overwhelmed, I've done this before too. If you're overwhelmed, you can like just run the contagion demon, and it'll like affect them, and you know they'll all be start like puking their guts out, and so you can like get away, you know, that way. Or you can like use it to get the jump on people too. Yeah, it's that is definitely like the one of the best things about the game. It's like the gunplay and you know the all the cyberware daemons that you can you know install in your cyberware and like affect the enemies. Oh right, yeah, and also there's a bunch of like really interesting characters in here too. So some of my favorites like Judy Alvarez, and Jackie Wells. Yeah, I don't know, I really like River Ward, and his sister Joss in here too. Like they have a pretty. I mean, everybody in this game, everybody in this world has like a pretty tragic story. In Night City, nobody makes it out of Night City alive. You know, in one way or another. Like the city like either outwardly kills you or kind of like kills a part of you. You know what I mean? But that also kind of leads me to what I don't like about the game. Like to me, they should have focused more on the characters. You know, because you meet up with so many interesting characters for just one moment, for one story, and that's it. Like you never, like they'll still be in the same spot, but you don't see them or interact with them at all, like throughout the rest of the game. And it's really frustrating, especially when there's like a good character like Jackie Wells' mom, in the game. Just like, God, can we get like some missions that she needs, or like some kind of extra interaction, or there's something where if we check on her like every now and then, like that we'll get like some like cutscene or more like character backstory or something like that. That there's tons of instances like that where it's just like, I want more of the city. I want more characters. I want more like background. I want more development. Like, I mean, yeah, the running and gunning and shooting and like doing all that stuff is cool. It is, but for me, I actually want more background. I want more character. Yeah, what something else I don't like about the game is just it's still kind of a buggy mess. It's still, I mean, this is the absolute best like it has been since it came out, and it took them an extra 2 years to actually get to this point. Okay, 2 years after release to actually get to this point, and they're still working on the game too. So yeah, it's kind of inexcusable. It actually is kind of inexcusable. A lot of other things I think will be addressed, like going on, like as the game kind of grows and as they continue to like build on the game. Because I've played the game like three. I have three playthroughs at this point. I've beaten it twice, and I have like another playthrough that I'm going through. Because I actually really like this game, but I do not like how it's such a linear story though. Like this, it's kind of got that multiple branching thing to it, where like if you choose A and B, then you get like the C outcome. If you choose B and C in the game, you get the D outcome. That sort of thing. But I kind of wish that we can move beyond the whole like Johnny Silverhand storyline and just delve into like Night City. Another thing I don't like about the game is you can't join any of the factions. You can't join any of the street gangs in here, which I like. I would love if I could like join the Tiger Claws or Maelstrom or the Voodoo Boys or something like that, and you know, and I'll be like and set up like my own, like have my own apartment, have my own pad there, have like my own kind of like little stomping ground or my own community in that part of town. And if I have a job throughout like the rest of the city, I have to watch out for like the Valentinos or or the Moxes or something like that. As I'm doing the heist or the mission or whatever, you know, and also like they'll have like a maelstrom person come after you, like you're one of the maelstrom missions or something like that, or the fixer that's over in no in the maelstrom part of town has a mission against you or something like that. That I don't know why they didn't do it that way. I think I know why, because when Keanu Reeves signed on to do this thing, all of that had to kind of go out the window, because we got Keanu Reeves. We gotta work him into the story. You gotta make him like a prominent part of the story. And I mean, speaking of Keanu Reeves, he was good in this. Like, he was one of the best parts of the game, honestly. Even though I think he is like a huge distraction to what, and kind of holding the game back from like what it really could be. But still, like, it's Keanu Reeves was pretty good in here as Johnny Silverhands, and he like he has a mission in here too. He has a couple of missions in here, but yeah, that first one that you do was it was crazy, man. That's kind of worth the price of admission too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Cyberpunk 2077, it is gone through a lot of changes. It's 2 years for them to actually get it to a point where it's actually like a really solid game to play now. And again, I've only played it on my PC, so I don't know how it is on the consoles. I hear like on the Series X and the PS5, it's actually like really good now too. But I mean, that leaves my rating. That makes this hard to rate. This game is really hard to rate. Because it has like a lot of weight or a lot of like back issues that you have to take into account for it. But I really love this game. Like I really do. I really love the game. With all that being said, I alternate sometimes, man. I alternate between a 3 or 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. I think I lean towards a 3, but I'm gonna give it a 4. It's a really fun game, and I am a fan of the genre. I'm a fan of like cyberpunk anyway. It's had kind of everything I wanted in here, and I want more. Like that's my biggest complaint is I want more, and like, but I think a 4 at this point in September 2022. I think a 4 out of 5 is justified for this right now, with the disclaimer of I played this on the PC. I've only played this on the PC, but Cyberpunk 2077, 4 out of 5. Yeah, I think it deserves that for right now. If you would have asked me in 2020 though, I probably would have said a 2 out of 5.